Welcome to Nails and Yap, the podcast where we talk all about nails, business, and everything in between. Today's episode I'm really excited for. I'm joined by Elle. Joined by Elle. And we're going to talk about getting into nails later in life. And when I say later, we use it loosely. We're not on next door just yet. However, I was 29 when I got into nails. And how old were you?
I was 40.
Yeah. So neither of us started, going to college at 16 to do nails. So we took a slightly different path. And we're just going to talk a little bit about that today. Welcome to Nails and Yap, the podcast where I do people's nails and we have a good old natter. I'm Laura, I'm a nail tech, and after years of hearing the funniest, deepest, and most random chats, I thought, why not turn it into a podcast? Whether you're a fellow nail tech, a client who loves a good catch-up, or someone who's just nosy about the beauty world, you're in the right place. I am nosy, so I want to know everything. So talk me through everything that led to this point. When did you start? Like, what were you doing before nails? How did you get into nails?
So I did an A-level in art first, and I wanted to work in an art gallery. So I always wanted to do something arty. I knew that. But I did do nails for friends and family. And everyone was always like, you should do nails, you should do nails. And I was like, I'm not sure I want to do that as a career right now. Yeah. Then I had my daughter when I was 18. So I wanted to do a job that would fit around her. So I went into childcare, term time childcare, which was really nice and I loved it. And I'm a maternal person, I'm very mumsy. So I really, really loved it. And it was only when it came to lockdown, I thought, I'm going to try something new. I was like, I've been at home, I've been doing my own nails, been doing Mia's nails. And I thought I want to do something different. So I decided to do a nail course. And that's how I started.
That's how you got started. So was it anything in particular that inspired the nail journey, or you just one day you had one thought? And
I just wanted to do something more creative. And it felt attainable as a career. I quite liked the idea of being self-employed. I wanted to do it around my own schedule. I wanted to be at home a bit more, but be able to work in the evenings. I just wanted a nicer balance in life.
Something flexible.
So something self-employed was, I knew I wanted to be self-employed.
That's so interesting that you knew you wanted to be self-employed.
Yeah,
because for me, the idea of self-employment really scared me at one point. I never did end up looking into sort of a salon option just because for me, I got into nails around another job. So I was doing it in the evenings, weekends. So it sort of became a side hustle rather than full time. I remember being terrified by the self-employed thing at first. So it's interesting that you kind of knew that you always wanted to do that route.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just felt like I wanted to. Maybe it was confidence with age. Maybe I just felt like I was at the point where I'd been employed all my life and I wanted to have a little bit more control over my work life.
So for me personally, I started off, I really wanted to be a copywriter when I was younger.
Ooh.
I loved English, I loved writing, really wanted to be a copywriter. So I ended up going to uni on an advertising course. When I got there, you kind of get shoehorned into being an art director or a copywriter.
Okay.
And you're encouraged to pair up. And it just turned out that the guy I ended up pairing up with, he wanted to be a copywriter and he was better at it than me. So I was like, fine, I'll be an art director. Anyway, went on to be an art director for a little bit after uni and got into that, which again was super creative and sort of visual, which I think a lot of people are creative.
Yeah,
when you speak to people, a lot of nail techs who
are creative.
They are creative and they started out doing things like art and design and different things.
Yeah.
It's just such a natural path.
100%.
You love creating art on paper.
Yeah.
Make it harder for yourself and do it tiny. Do it as small as you can. So for me, I kind of went into that career path and then I ended up doing sort of graphic design content creation before I went on to do this. And initially to fund my wedding.
Oh,
didn't happen. This drawer's full of gel, a testament to where that money went. But it's expensive being a nail tech, isn't it?
Really
so
is.
expensive.
Really expensive.
But I definitely think, for me personally, there's been benefits to starting later in life.
Oh, 100%. When I was younger, I was a single mom. I was 18. I didn't have the best confidence and I was really focused on being a mum. So work was just work. Yeah. Work was an income to keep us going. Now, Mia's older and I don't have to worry about her. She's doing her own career path. She's really doing well. Now I have more time for me.
Yeah.
And this I can completely tailor around me and what I want to do. And I'm much more confident about going and doing that. Whereas I just don't think I would have had sort of like the mental space to be able to do a job like this when I was younger. I wanted to go there, do the job, walk out the door and that's it.
I'll get onto this in other episodes about boundaries, but you really do sort of take your work home with you as a nail tech. It doesn't just end when you stop painting nails, does it?
And in fact, when you're here, you are just doing nails. When you're at home, you're booking in, taking deposits, ordering stock. There's so many different things that you do out of work. So it's kind of like, it is a 24-hour job, but you can tailor your work hours and then set aside time to do admin things and stuff. So I definitely think I am more successful doing this now I'm older.
Yeah, I think that's interesting about being more successful now you're older, because I completely relate, and not in the sense of sort of family and time-wise. I definitely probably had more time to dedicate to it when I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was more getting the life experience and getting experience in sort of my career beforehand. Like, I learned a bit about branding, I learned about social media, I learned how to promote yourself. I wouldn't have had that. And I started when I was younger, fresh out of college. I wouldn't have known what I was doing at all in any way. And I think the older I've got, like, that's something for me that's been massive. And just back onto the self-employed point as well, I think not working in a salon, if I was younger, I probably would have started off in a salon. And I think that comes with benefits and sort of negatives. I think the benefits would be people who work in a salon are like, you are worked. So I feel like you get your sets down to 45 minutes. Whereas for me, pacing's always been something I've struggled with, and I'm constantly trying to improve my speed without compromising on quality. Whereas I think with salons like that, there's no time in the diary to dilly-dally and show clients things on your phone, which you can do as a private tech.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that as much anymore. Not one of our best habits. But I think on the flip side, for me, again, like you say, I've been able to completely tailor it, like this job, to my lifestyle. I've been able to work my own hours. I've been able to fit it around me.
Yeah, 100%.
I think had I started younger, I probably would have gone into a salon and perhaps found it stressful.
Yeah.
And it would have been a job in the more traditional sense without that flexibility.
Exactly.
I don't know if I would enjoy it as much, or if that would have taken the joy out of it.
I think perhaps working in a salon, it would feel maybe a little bit conveyor belt.
Yeah.
And then if it's not your own business, you're not doing the other side of it, you would basically be coming to work, set, and leave, which works for some people, especially if you're younger and you just want to earn your money so you can go on holiday and stuff like that. But I think when you get older, it's quite nice to have that control.
For me, it was always pushed, like, you go to college, you go to uni, etc. And that was the path I followed. And then actually when I got into traditional employment, I found it didn't work as well for me. Like, I need flexibility. I need to have control of my own day-to-day life. For me, that's why this job is so great, because 100% it is that flexibility, like you say, you fit it around your whole life.
100%. And I don't think that when I was younger, I thought that self-employed was something that was not easy to do, but achievable for everybody. It was like, if someone said to you, oh, I've got my own business, you'd be like, oh, got your own business.
Have you done a course in that?
Yeah,
like where'd you do that?
Exactly. Well, actually, it is more achievable for us to do now. I think a lot of women in particular are self-employed now.
Massively.
And I think that's really good for confidence as well.
Yeah, because you're the only one responsible for your success, aren't you? So it's like, if I come and work today and I half-ass my clients, I'm not in the mood, I let that show to them, I do a rubbish job, like, that's my income. That's my reputation. That's my job. Whereas if you're going into sort of any job, you do sometimes have off days. I think especially working in a salon, you might be like, well, and your passion's not maybe there. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn. But for me, I can imagine if I was in a setting where it was conveyor belt, I probably would feel quite burnt out and not in the mood for it. Whereas now, I think, again, being self-employed, for me, it's very much a case of, like, I take more pride in my work.
Yeah, 100%. We're solely responsible. And then, for the whole thing. It's all down to you. You create your clients, you create your income, you create client experience. There's so much to it that you are responsible for. So your heart and soul's in it.
Yeah. Like, passion is there, isn't it?
Yeah. And you feel so proud of yourself as well for being able to do it.
Oh, massively. Like, do you ever sit back sometimes and you think,
all the time.
I've done this.
All the time.
Like, you look at your bank balance at the end of the month and you think, no one else has sent me that money.
Yeah.
Like,
completely done it.
Yeah, like I have earned that money myself.
100%.
Like I'm not relying on anybody else. That's on me.
Oh gosh, when I first started here, just on a Friday, I remember the first month I didn't have any clients and I just sat on the green couch like, oh my gosh, what have I done? How am I going to do this? And then when you start getting busy, how it makes you feel that you've created.
Yeah.
Nobody else has done it. You have to literally posting all the time, content all the time, and make sure you've got all your stuff. But it makes you feel so good that you have created that. And some days I just look back and like, I can't believe I'm only in the second year.
Yeah.
I'm doing so well. It's a nice feeling.
And you've built your client base so quickly as well, haven't you?
Yeah.
Do you think being older has impacted that?
100%. Yeah, I really do. When I first started, I posted a lot of content on Facebook groups.
Okay.
And I think that targeted a demographic that came to me at the beginning that really kept me stable.
Yeah.
So they were sort of same age, relatable lifestyles, lots to talk about, similar income. They would come back and keep me steady all the time. Whereas now I have a broader mixture. Now I'm getting sort of word of mouth, and then the sister comes and the daughter comes. So it sort of is creating a really nice client base.
And almost in a way, if you were 18 doing nails and then you probably would attract clients of a similar age.
Yeah, exactly.
They're 18. They've got friends that they can
They're not going to say, mum, go there.
Auntie, daughter.
Yes,
they've almost got more people doing it.
It's more the mums will go, oh, I'll get my daughter to come here.
Yeah, I'll get a voucher for a birthday.
Her best friend. Yeah, I think one of my very early clients, I think I do her entire family. Her sister, her grandma, her mum, and like half the girls from her work as well. You get like little insular groups of clients, which is really nice as well.
That's so good. And what a testament to like how happy they are with your service that they've gone 100%. Away and been so happy they've recommended you. Now you've got the whole family. Yeah. Just get them in for a group appointment.
I call grandma at this point.
Do you find that hard? Like when you get people in who are friends? Because sometimes you hear the same story from two sides.
You've got to be really careful.
You've got to keep
stay impartial.
Stay impartial.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. You can't affect the client confidentiality. You've got to keep your conversations
like
with each client. Or I am. What comes to the salon stays at the salon. 100%. Literally. Like, not a peep.
No, it's not. It is funny that. Because you do hear two sides. Or I've had funny experience as well, like with a lot of people coming from the local area that'll tell me a story and then I'll work out, that's another one of my clients.
Oh, so they haven't told you the name?
They know each other.
I was like, my neighbour keeps parking on my drive, he's doing my head in. And then the other one's like, she told me I could park on her drive and now she's complaining about me.
And then you start putting it together and you're like, actually.
Yeah, I think definitely like being older helped me build a client base quicker. Mainly because I had more contacts.
Mm-hmm.
I was more confident in myself and then therefore more able to sit and have a chat properly.
Yes.
Which obviously there's so many amazing techs that are 16, 18,
100%.
I've seen girls on TikTok.
Oh, they're amazing.
They're starting off and they're doing acrylics in their bedroom at 13.
Yeah, and they can do it.
And they're amazing. And they're just doing it on their schoolmates. And you think, you are setting yourself up for life.
Yeah, exactly.
You're already building your client base. You're doing the legwork while you're at your mum and dad's. You've not got bills to pay.
100%.
Client base. You're just going to fly from here.
Yeah.
I think when they're 30, like I was nearly 30 when I started. I'm 32 now and I've got like 3 years of experience. Whereas like those girls will be 30 with like 17 years experience.
And I also think that that's another testament to how accessible self-employed is. I think sometimes these younger girls are looking up at girls in the 20s and older like us as well, thinking, oh, I could actually do this from day one.
Obviously, we talked a little bit about the benefits, but do you find that there's any sort of, I don't want to say negatives, that seems more challenges, I guess, to starting later in life?
The thing I would probably suffered with the most was a bit of imposter syndrome.
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively.
Yeah, I think from day one, when I first qualified, I did mobile to get a feel for it, see if I liked it. I really undervalued myself and my work.
Yeah.
I would drive all over the place for a £10 gel polish.
Wow.
And I was just thinking,
I mean, you've had the covered petrol there.
yeah, and I'm like,
you just haven't.
But I don't think I looked at it as me being worthy of being paid. And I think as well, that transaction, I've never been used to a transaction before.
Yeah.
When you work a normal job and you get paid, it just goes in your bank.
Yeah.
So there were so many little aspects that made me really sort of think, oh God, I can't take money off someone.
Yeah.
I can't charge them more than that. And that I found really difficult.
I find imposter syndrome's tricky as well. Like when I first started out, for me, it was sort of, I would be, it was a lack of experience, and you feel almost guilty for charging, because you could, like, I was quite good at working out on paper what my time was worth, or what I wanted to be paid, what my products were worth, how much I needed to charge. And then sometimes I'd do it and I'd knock it off.
Yeah, no, I would do that all the time.
I can't charge that.
No, I would do that.
And I think there is a balance. I think, if you've literally just done your training course yesterday, you can't be rocking up and charging 40 quid for a set of nails, because you're going to get, you can if you want, do what you want, it's your own business.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to end up with client compared. That's going to affect your confidence even more.
Oh, yeah, massively.
Especially if then you've got retention issues, or people are not happy with the nail art. Or you're taking a lot longer and
we're not perfect straight away.
No, of course you're not. So it's that balance of having the practice sets, isn't it? Versus when you feel confident enough. But I think we all do definitely undervalue ourselves in
100%.
Maybe charge less for longer than we should. There's definitely a training period, but then it's like, right, I'm not in that anymore.
It's moving on from that.
Yeah.
And I think it's hard if I find it difficult if a client will say, oh, do you mind if I just add a couple of diamonds or something? And then I'll be like, I feel uncomfortable about charging it. So and I'm like, no, I'm using my products and my time. Yeah. And that's worth the money. So to remind myself, I'm offering a service.
Yeah.
So that's probably the thing I've suffered with the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think imposter syndrome is crazy as well, because I think you get it at any age.
Oh,
but for me, the way it impacted nails to do with age was that you are looking at people who are the same age as you, who've got 10, 12 years under the belt. And sometimes you go on people's Instagram accounts and it will say at the top, 10 years experience. And I'm going, oh God, I've got 40.
Yeah.
And you feel a little bit behind, I suppose, because you started later in life.
Yeah, I agree.
There's so many amazing nail techs who started later in life. And I think, imposter syndrome was a biggie for me.
Yeah.
I think the other side of it was like with the self-employed thing, I had the safety net of that I was in a full-time job the rest of the time. So
okay.
It wasn't my main income. Right. So it allowed me to do it a bit more gradually.
Okay.
But I think when you're older and you've got bills to pay, and you've got, like, for example, like you've got family to support, that is an added element.
That adds to the hustle, though. I was like, I'm determined. I've got to make money. My partner was working. Mia she would have been 20. But I was like, we've got this house to pay for, and we're down to sort of like one income.
Yeah.
I was like, I have to do this. I have to make this work. So then that was sort of like the internal pull between, I've only just qualified, but I want to be charging the right amount. And it is so hard. But I think that's just with time, your confidence grows.
Oh, massively.
I think you've got to be kinder to yourself.
Yeah, definitely. I think, try not to think about your age as well. Like, there's some people who, if they're a young girl, they might want a young nail tech who is on a similar life path to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you say, we attract clients who are similar age to us. I think as well, starting later in life for me, it was that I had to fit it around more things. So I imagine when I was younger, if I'd have gone to college when I was 16 and beauty, that's your focus, isn't it? Obviously.
You're
fitting it around your nights.
Of course.
You're fitting around, drinking bloody Glenn's vodka every weekend. Whatever you get up to in your spare time. Cinema trips.
Well, yeah.
Frankie Benny's was a fan of ours.
Yeah.
Or Nando's. But I think as you get older, obviously, it is things like family, it is things like other jobs that you're trying to fit it around. And I think that's a challenge, because you're trying to balance not getting burnt out with growing something.
100%.
And I think, one thing about starting later in life is that it's often it can't be your main focus. Not to say you're not focused on it and, like you said, determined to grow, but it's not your only priority.
Yeah.
Which I think is tricky.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Personally, I just don't think I would have ended up where I am now if I hadn't have done my other career before that. It's not to say I would never have ended up doing nails, but I think if I'd have started it younger, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much, actually. And I don't think I would have grown my business in the same way. Yeah. I definitely wouldn't have the same logo. I would have had a terrible logo. I probably would have had a crap name.
Oh, I love your name.
Oh, thanks.
I always say that.
Do you know, it's so funny.
It's
Sometimes
so
I'll say to
cool.
clients, you know, for example, like when I'm explaining what a heat spike is, and I say, oh, pop in the lamp, you might feel a little bit of heat, but it starts to burn.
Let me know.
They'll say, what is that? And then I say, oh, as it's curing. And they go,
oh,
is that why your
nail
account is called Cure? And I'm like, yeah. And then sometimes people have said to me, oh, I thought it was like manicure. And I'm like, it kind of is.
It could be.
It's what it is. But like, and also like, I remember when I first started, I was like, yeah, I can do like a campaign. And it's like, this is the cure to all your life's problems. It's like, come to me, get your nails done. And it's the cure.
The cure. Therapy is the cure.
Yeah, therapy, the cure.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the cure. Come to me and sort your life out. But I never did get that little advertising campaign off the ground. Mainly because social media takes so long when you try to grow a business, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
Did you find with social media, it didn't come naturally?
Yeah, no, definitely not.
No.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Social media does not come naturally to me.
And do you think that's linked to age in any way?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I was asking Mia. I was like, Mia, can you help with this? Mia, can you help me with that?
And
the pros of having an adult daughter. No, she doesn't. She's really good. We're like little besties, so it worked out perfectly. She helped me loads in the beginning.
That's great.
And of course, she was my constant model. So I was like, she was having biab nearly every single day. I'm like, I need to do it again, Mia, please. Help me.
Help me.
Yeah. So I would do her nails and then she would help me with my social media.
Fun would that be though? Your mum's a nail tech and she's like, I just have to do your nails. She'd be like,
oh no,
please.
Yeah, but now I don't have the time. I'm that busy at work.
Oh.
She's like, can you bring the stuff home this weekend?
And now I can't get my
and now my nails are a mess. She's like, I'm going to have to go to somewhere else.
What was that $100 for me?
Yeah. Yeah, but no,
on your shit.
She's cheating on me. But definitely the social media part didn't come. Interestingly, because of my age, I was on Facebook and wasn't super familiar with Instagram. So a lot of the Facebook groups actually really helped grow my business.
Yeah.
So I actually found that really helpful. And I was thinking, do I do all Instagram or Facebook? So I set them both up at the same time. And I don't think I had a client through Instagram booking for about a year.
Wow.
Really? It was all Facebook.
That's amazing.
Every single thing was Facebook groups, word of mouth. I was just constantly posting.
Yeah.
I got banned from everything.
I got banned for everything actually.
For over posting.
I don't know. I'm
trying to grow my business.
I didn't even post too much. I think
on the wrong days.
Potentially on the wrong days. And there was one where they rejected it because it didn't say it was in Edgeley. It said Stock.
Oh.
We did say what street we were on. And then I went and edited the post and put Greek Street, Edgeley.
And that worked.
And then they accepted it. And a few weeks later, I went to go on it. And I was barred. You know? But I actually got loads of clients through there where they come in and say, oh, how'd you find me?
Yes, Facebook.
And they said, yeah, I'm on that group.
Yeah.
It's like, right, it does work.
It definitely works.
For me, I don't use Facebook personally very often.
I don't now.
It's easy to forget about.
Yeah.
Yeah, not...
I don't do this. Oh, back in the day, Facebook was a thing.
6 a.m. after a night out. Someone's uploaded 200 pictures.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, I would totally agree with that. But then now I get a lot of traffic through Instagram.
Yeah.
Because I think I have a few more younger clients now who are mainly Instagram.
I definitely get a lot more inquiries through Instagram.
100%.
I'll get people sort of say,
yeah,
I've seen you work. What level nail art should I book in for? Or what service should I have? I definitely get those inquiries through.
Don't get me started on algorithm.
Facebook, but I think Facebook groups do.
Yeah.
They do work great.
Yeah, I think the algorithm of Instagram and stuff like that, I just can't get it right. I think you need to be on it all the time.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
I feel like you're really good with social media.
Thanks.
Wow. Exactly.
So, but again, that's it. Like, that was my job. So I think it's made me better on it now. Whereas if I'd have got into this, even before I did social media, when I'd just done the art direction, I just wouldn't be as good. There's little tips and tricks that you pick up. And I wouldn't have known otherwise.
Exactly.
What works for brands, what doesn't work, and kind of what gets a response and what doesn't. That said, I think I'm better at Instagram and social media now. I've done it for my own business.
Yeah.
I think I'm in a better place now to run a brand social media account.
Yeah.
Now that I've done my own.
Yeah. That's the thing. Everything leads. Everything leads to where you're supposed to be, doesn't it?
Oh, massively. It's crazy, isn't it? Like, I think when you think about the journey, and it's not straightforward. And I think even if you're done it when I was younger. Like, it wouldn't have necessarily been a go to college, do beauty, start your own business, end up here.
It's just personal. I think it's so personal when you start.
So I know there'll be some people watching and listening who are thinking about getting into nails, but are worried that they've missed the window of opportunity because they're a little bit older. What would you say to those people?
No, definitely do it. If you feel like that's something you want to do, don't hold back, go for it. I never thought I would ever in a million years be self-employed when I was younger. And it's the best thing I ever did. Absolute best thing I ever did.
Same. It's mad, isn't it? How, like, I'm the same. I'm like, never would have thought I'd have ended up here, but now it just feels so right.
Yeah.
Starting anything new is scary, but also you don't have to start straight away and jump. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow. You don't have to do a nail course on Monday.
No, you don't.
On Tuesday.
No, you don't.
It doesn't have to be that way.
Exactly.
So, build it up slowly. Do things like the mobile 1 day a week in a salon to build up your clientele.
Yeah, I did mobile for quite a bit of time before I started here.
Yeah, so did I.
Just to build up my confidence and check I actually liked it. And how quickly you gain confident when you've done a couple of clients. I'm like, oh, I can actually do this.
Yeah, it's crazy. Do you remember your first client?
Yeah, and I can still do her now.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, and it took me 4.5 hours to do plain by up.
No, mine was probably similar, and then you're sweating because you're looking at the time, aren't you? And you're like,
her husband kept coming in and saying, "It's tea ready now," and we laugh about that so much now. I'm like, no, not yet.
I bet you're sweating.
But I was. It was horrible. But we laugh about that so much now. She was my first one. I had no clue what I was doing and no clue on my pricing. I was just like, let's go.
Yeah.
And since then, she's got married.
Joe's, let's go.
Yeah. She's got married, had a baby, and pregnant again. And it's so nice to have like that nail journey with people as well.
That is, because I'm the same. I don't do mobile anymore, but did start off doing it. And that is one of the things I do miss about being mobile is I don't miss much because like carrying your bag, working on
it's that trying to clean,
disaster. But one thing for me about mobile that I do miss is like learning the side characters.
Oh yeah, 100%.
How fun was that?
Meeting the family, the kids running around, the husband, the boyfriend, the pets. Yeah,
the housemates. I've met housemates before, and then they leave.
Yeah,
and the person's like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
see them pots in the sink. That's them.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like,
it's funny.
Fill in. I think the main thing for anyone thinking of starting is just start. I think there's pros and cons to starting when you're younger. There's pros and cons to starting when you're older. But if you don't do it, you'll never know, and you'll always wonder. So give it a go. See how you get on. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, just go back to a normal job.
This is what I was going to say. Essentially, the worst thing that can happen is it doesn't work out and you go back to your other job. Or
exactly.
you try something else.
A different job.
Yeah.
That's it. Like,
it's worth trying the rewards, not just financially, but the rewards to it is so great. I would say go for it.
Yeah. I think it is one of the best jobs you can have.
Yeah. I feel much more confident and accomplished as a woman doing this now.
Yeah.
Whereas before I was like, I always loved being a mum, but I was like, that's my biggest achievement. I'm a mum.
Yeah.
And I always just focused on that. But now it's like, now I'm a hustler as well.
Yeah.
I'm a mum and I'm running my own business. And I feel like it's such a good example to my daughter as well.
Oh, massively.
So if you are a mum and thinking about doing this, go for it. What better example than saying, do you know what? You tell your kids all day long, don't you? You can do anything. You can do whatever you want to do, go for it. You can do it. Well, that's like showing them that you can do anything.
Yeah.
Look at me. I did this late in life. I say to Mia all the time, you can change your career, do what you want. Just go for it.
And I know Mia's a bit older, but I imagine she is your cheerleader. But honestly, no big cheerleader doesn't like a 6-year-old.
Oh,
even my nephew, when I see him, he'll say to me, he's settling.
Girl.
What nails have you done recently? And I'll show him. It's funny though, because he'll be like, why do they want that on the nails? I think because his mum gets quite
so
like plain sets, he's just like, why would she? Why?
Yeah.
To him, nails is just like nice, neat, plain-ish.
Yeah.
And he's like, why would they get that? They just wanted it. But then he'll say, how did you do it though? He's like really interested. And I'm like, that is so cute. So yeah.
Oh, Summer's our biggest cheerleader.
Oh, massively.
With the whiteboard.
So
he's the best girls.
So basically, one of the girls who owns the salon's daughter comes in every now and again, and we have a whiteboard in the back. that they use for training sometimes. And she's so cute. She always writes adverts for everybody.
Yeah, she does.
She'll say, like, get your nails done here.
Yeah,
They are the best.
They are the best
You'll be
girls.
so happy. The girls are the best.
Yeah, she's
Come
so
to them.
cute. You will love their work.
Yeah,
they're
you'll
really
love their
kind.
work. That was on for ages.
Yeah, so cute.
So I wanted to do a segment of the podcast, which was called Nightmares from the Nail Desk. And basically, I want to ask nail techs to send in their dilemmas, and then me and my guest will answer them to the best of our ability. So it could be a product question. It could be that they've got a nightmare client. It could be that they're struggling with sort of, they want to rent a new space. They're not sure if it's a good deal. Like, also anything that's a bit of a dilemma as a nail tech that you might have. However, obviously, we're recording this before the podcast is actually launched officially. We haven't got one yet. So I'm going to make up a theoretical, let's just make one up.
Yeah.
So we need a nail tech. What should we call her?
Becky.
Right, Becky, our nail tech. She's been a nail tech for a while. She's an experienced nail tech. She's not a beginner. She's quite experienced. And she is self-employed and she works for herself, by herself. That's key, actually.
Yeah.
She works by herself in a garden salon. So Becky's in a garden salon as a private nail tech. And she's got a client, and every time her client comes in, her client's really negative. We don't know whether it's because the client's specifically going through a tough time at the minute, or if it's just her personality. She's been coming to her for a couple of years. Maybe.
Yeah.
And whenever Becky sees her name in the diary for the week ahead, she sort of dreads it a little bit. And she's like, oh God, I've got client X.
Yeah, client X.
We've got client X coming in, and she dreads it. She absolutely dreads the appointment. So she needs to figure out what to do, because she can't go on like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's ruining her week. It's ruining her life. It's ruining this poor girl's day.
Taking the vibe down.
What would you tell Becky to do?
I would probably try and focus on the nice things that she is talking about and the things she's got going on in her life, and refer back to them at the next appointment. So even if someone's having a really bad time, they'll drop in, well, I'm going to the park to have coffee with my daughter on Saturday. So then when she came the next time, if she was being a little bit negative, I'd just say, oh, did you go to the park with your daughter? Did you have a nice time?
Sort of redirect
the conversation so it's a little bit lighter. And then often a small snippet like that will lead to a bigger conversation.
Yeah.
And you can always like say stuff about you as well and be like, oh, I went to such park. Have you been there? That's really nice. Or we went to a lovely walk on Dovestone. Have you been there before?
Yeah.
You know, just I'll make that story a thing.
Yeah, I agree. Try and see what you can do to make the conversation more positive. She probably doesn't realise she's doing it.
Probably doesn't.
She won't think, oh, I'm going to come to my nail appointment and be a negative Nancy and make my nail tech dread my appointment.
Yeah.
She'd probably be mortified to know you felt that way.
Or equally, she could be going through a really bad time and not have many people to talk to.
Yeah.
And this kind of is her therapy. And we are like therapists as well.
Completely.
Like we know everything about people's lives, you know, weddings, births, deaths, job change, divorce. Like we are kind of, that's the extra.
Oh, yeah, we do.
We're involved in everything. So, you know, maybe she doesn't need to sort of offlay some of that. But I think it is nice if we can curve it round to happier things, and then they can leave the salon like, my nails look great. I've offloaded a little bit. I feel a little bit better. And that's like an all-round experience, because clients come to you for everything, not just for nails. Clients come because you get along, because you've got things in common, because you can talk easy to each other, because you're disconnected from their life.
You're never going to, I mean, you might run into the mum in Tesco, but you won't know it.
You probably
not going to strike up conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think you're right, trying to sort of find balance between everything.
100%.
Because like you say, you don't want someone who's going through a hard time, especially if they've been coming to you for a long time. You have gotten to know them. They might just be having a rough few months.
Yeah.
And like, it is tricky because as a nail tech, you don't want to dismiss your own feelings either. Like, your feelings are valid.
Yeah.
And you don't want to dread coming to work. Like, that's really important to avoid burning yourself out. So you shouldn't have to sit there and listen to complete negativity every time. I think it depends on the why a little bit for me.
Yeah.
I think, has she lost someone recently? Is she having a real tough time? And they might not tell you about that either. So that's fine. You might never know the tough time someone's going through. But I think for me, give a little bit of grace. Assume that she's probably having a shitty time. Benefit of the doubt. She's not a horrible person. She's just, like you say, offloading, treating it as therapy.
Yeah.
try and balance the conversation and swing it back around to more positive topics. If that still doesn't work, and after you've been trying it for a little while and she still just doesn't want to chat about anything else, because, there are people, luckily, I don't think any of us have ever had these as clients, but there's people in the world who are just a bit miserable. You could say, like, oh, did you have a nice time with your daughter in the park? And she'd say, it was all right.
Yeah.
And then go back to saying, and then this woman at the checkout was horrible, so blah, 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 blah. And I think in that situation as a nail tech, it's really hard to be like, I'm going to redirect again and redirect again. And
I could just go a little bit quieter as well. You could just focus down in on the work and, just be like, oh, sorry, I've gone a little bit quiet. I'm just want to get this really nice for you. And just for give yourself a little bit of a breather as well and look after how you feel within the appointment.
I think that's such a good shout because as well, like, use it to your advantage. So she is draining your energy. Like, just think, do you know what? I'm going to chat to her for a little bit and then I'll
focus down.
She'll get it. Because how often do you, like, I go so quiet sometimes when I'm painting the nails.
Oh, yeah, when I get to this bit, I get quiet. Often I'll go really quiet. Yeah, exactly.
Because you just need to concentrate, don't you? So she won't be offended.
Exactly.
You can just sort of...
You naturally go a bit quiet when you do this portion of the appointment anyway.
So quiet, use it to reset your day. I think about the things you need to buy from Tesco and then go from there. But I think if it gets to the point where you feel like you've tried everything, you have tried redirecting topics, she is genuinely coming in and just dumping on you. And it's really, really draining your energy to the point where you're not enjoying the job at all.
Yeah.
You do need to look after yourself. So I think in that situation, maybe do look at firing her as a client. I think there's things you can do before that because people are human. They're going to go through hard times. They're going to go through
life events.
Yeah, life happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think life happens. People are human,
Yeah.
And it's not fair on clients for us to expect them to come in and only be happy.
Yeah.
And think, oh, because I would never want a client listening to this to think, oh, well, I can never complain to my nail tech about something that's happened, or if I'm going through a crappy time, I've got to like put a mask on and be 100%.
Yeah.
Because people are human. Like, I do not mind at all when my clients are going through a hard time and they tell me about it.
No, I don't.
A lot of the time, people
quite nice to listen to people be there for them.
And they don't always have someone to confide in. And not because they've not got people in their lives, but maybe the people are too involved in the situation. It's too close to home.
Exactly.
Like, there's multiple reasons, isn't there, why somebody wouldn't confide in those around them.
100%.
So I do love providing that space where it is a safe space and people can or not. That said, you have got to look after yourself. So only you know where the line is, don't you? Really?
100%.
And a lot of the time, people will be going through a tough time for a little bit, and then they'll improve. I think it would be quite rare for a client to come in and only be negative.
Yeah,
that would be quite a rare experience.
Yeah,
unless something really terrible has happened and it's impacting them.
Yeah, strain a little bit.
You can say it because I get clients who come to me all the time and say, "Sorry, if I'm a bit quiet today. It's been a long day."
Yeah,
don't worry. Like, and just sit and chill.
Yeah.
So maybe look for
we should be able to do that in return as well.
Sometimes you don't want to feel like you're not giving good customer service, but
feel bad.
As long as you've had a nice chat with her, you've tried to get it on to more positive things. She obviously likes coming because she wouldn't keep coming back. Exactly. I think that's the key difference. It's what she's being negative about as well, actually.
Yeah.
If they're always negative about your work, then that's when you go, look, I'm not the right person for you.
Yeah.
Touch wood never happened to me, but I am in some Facebook groups with other nail techs.
Where that happens all the time?
Yeah, and people will say, sort of, I've got this client and every time they leave, they complain. It's a lot of hairdressers seem to get it. And they'll say, every time this client leaves me, they send me a text and say, I'm not happy about this, I'm not happy about that. Depends what they're being negative about. If they're being negative about your services, then maybe it is time to say, look, every time you come, you're not happy with my application or your retention.
Then that's more difficult.
That's different. I think that's sort of when it's time to have a conversation and say, maybe we're not suited to each other. Maybe my services aren't for you.
Yeah.
Maybe you should find a different time.
Yeah.
I think if it's just that they're going through a tricky time in their life, you're listening here, try not to take it home with you. You find, because you're one of 5, is it?
Yeah.
You find
5 sisters and a brother. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've probably been around a lot in your life where like someone's upset about something.
There's always someone's really happy, someone's going through a breakup, someone hates the job. I think that does give you good knowledge of how to talk to people with different issues as well, because you're kind of used to it. There's always someone in the house that feels a bit down. So yeah, Definitely think it helps coming from a big family.
Yeah. I think as well for me, it's making sure you don't take it home.
Yeah.
Which is easier said than done because as a nail tech, like we've already said, it's not just a job. You do get invested in your clients' lives. And I think that's a great part of the job, but it also can mean, for example, if someone is going through a tough time and they're really coming offload during your appointment,
Yeah.
it's hard not to then let that negative mood
Yeah,
come home
100%.
with you. But I think you've got to just try and have the separation yourself. For me, I never talk about like the conversations I've had in the clients like at home or anything,
Yeah.
good and bad, unless it's like a TV recommendation. I'll never go on. Like if Danny says, "How was your day?" I'll sort of talk about the sets I've done.
Yeah.
And I'll talk about what I had for lunch and things like that. But I'll never say, "Oh, such a buddy was talking about this."
Yeah.
So I think we've covered absolutely loads there. I've probably gone off tangent ever so slightly.
Well, that's what nail techs do. We talk.
That is what nail techs do.
2 nail techs together and we're going to talk.
It's gonna be a long
chat.
episode. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
It's great to have you.
And it's nice to be this other side of the desk.
Oh, I bet. I've actually
So
not
nice
got my
to
nails
meet.
done for like 2 years.
Yeah, it's so nice.
I need to book in for the wedding because I'm like, yeah,
You need your nails doing.
yeah. And
It's
also
so
having your
nice.
nails done without being like,
Yeah, because when we do it ourselves, we don't. Yeah,
It's a little
slap it on a little bit as well.
yeah, I do mine in
Yeah.
brushes sometimes and it's not the vibe.
Yeah, so it's so nice. So thank you.
You're very welcome. So if anyone who's listening or watching would like to follow you, where can they find you?
On Instagram, it's gel_L. No, sorry. gel_by_L_.
Ah, so we've done the yap. Now let's see the nails. Show the camera what we've done today.
Beautiful.
So we have gone for a lovely short almond gel extension with a pale pink colour.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome.
Love them. So nice to be on this side of the table as well. Thank you very much. Thank
If
you.
anyone's got any questions, thoughts, anything else on the topic, would love to hear everybody's thoughts. I'll be back next week with a different topic.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.